All right, we'll get into our movies of the month now for October. You kick us off. Best movie you saw in October, in your opinion?
So easy. We live in time.
The sad one.
Yeah.
You were waiting to be sad. And I think I felt a little bit different about this movie because everybody was saying how sad it is going to be. Just based on the trailer, you can tell that Florence Pugh is going to get cancer. You see her, they sit down at the doctor's office. She has hair. Cut to a scene, she has no hair, shaved head. I love that she committed to the shaved head.
She commits.
Because whenever, you didn't see Furiosa with me, right?
Yeah, I saw it with my family.
Okay.
Remember we saw it at the same time.
Different theaters. The thing that annoyed me about that movie is Anya Taylor-Joy did not shave her head. She wore like a shaved head wig, and it was so distracting to me. And I feel like that also took her out of that role because if you're not fully committing to it, I don't believe you. And if I don't believe you, I'm not going to enjoy the movie. But Florence Pugh straight up shaved her head for real.
To be fair, I was looking forward to being sad because it did come out on the weekend that is the anniversary of when my dad passed away when I was younger. So I feel like I needed a cathartic release. And I actually couldn't cry as much as I needed to. It was disappointing.
Did you cry at all?
I teared up. But the tears didn't necessarily like free flow. The girl across the aisle from us.
Yeah, there were people
sobs.
bawling there.
And then in the bathroom, she was like, I don't know how everyone else isn't crying.
And I think it's because I knew that it was going to be sad that I had this guard up a little bit, that I knew what to expect.
It was also done in such a way that like, it was very just like beautiful.
I love the way this movie was done. And I told you afterwards that I almost felt bad even giving it a grade because it just felt like one of those movies that was essential to life. It didn't feel like, oh, here's the beginning of this movie. Here's the middle part of this movie. It just flowed like life. Like you were getting a peek into these characters, just overwhelmingly sad situation of her dealing with cancer, her trying to find her purpose in life. They have a daughter and all the things that they wanted to accomplish in life kind of get put on hold. It is just a complex story taking like what otherwise would just be this really just small slice of life story and making it feel so much bigger and larger. And I think that's because you have Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield together who have amazing chemistry.
They really do. I'm going to give it 5 stars.
5 stars. Wow. I'd probably go on the 4.5 out of 5 because I feel like there's nothing that I would change about the movie. I love the way how, of course it's called We Live in Time. It would hop around in different timelines, which I think made it way more enjoyable to watch. You would see them from their very beginning of their relationship, towards the end of their relationship, the middle, it just kind of jumped around. And I think for somebody with like an ADD brain, it would be really engaging to watch because you're not just watching a continuous story.
I think we all have ADD at this point.
Yeah, I blame the internet.
I blame the pandemic. Like we just sat at home on our phones. It was like tiny screen, big screen, medium screen. And then it just kind of like rewired our brains.
It's funny now that even our break from our screen is a screen because we were like, all right, let's put down the phones and watch nice, wholesome television on a bigger screen.
Yeah.
That's all we do is just look at screens.
But I think it's different because it's not like scrolling and your eyes aren't like rapidly seeing a lot of
And it's not a constant
content.
like, here's 15 seconds, here's 5 seconds, here's 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Here's the Costco guys.
Oh, no.
Are you on Costco guy TikTok?
No, but this weekend my friends were doing a rendition of Costco guys.
I've been in Costco guys TikTok for probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months. I think
It's the Rizzler and the chicken bake and the boom.
And I think them jumping the shark was going on Jimmy Fallon. I think that's going to be the end of it.
I do think that was a little excessive because most people don't know who they are.
That's such a deep internet thing.
That's like, are they even viral? It's like niche virality.
It's like, dude, like me, 18 to 35 virality. And it's weird to be on that national of a platform and see people in that audience have no idea what is happening. I also think sometimes that's why SNL isn't as funny to anybody, as funny to most people anymore, is because they will literally take a very specific meme and do an entire sketch about it that if you didn't see that meme, you're probably not going to get it. But I think in order to stay relevant, they got to do stuff like that. The worst of October. Oh, I guess I got to rate Smile. I stand by my 4 out of 5 rating. I think once it goes to streaming, if you didn't see it in theaters, you'll enjoy it at home. Your worst for October.
Joker. Terrible. Hated it.
I feel like you never even got invested in this movie whatsoever, where I found parts of it that I enjoyed.
No.
There was like little pockets of it that I was like, okay, now we're getting good. You were just disconnected the entire time.
I didn't even take out my movie candy because it was not worth wasting my expensive Swedish candy on this film.
Dang, that is the worst. You can't even snack during
No,
a
it wasn't
movie.
worth my snack. I was like, I should save this for a movie that I'm enjoying. So I just took out my phone, turned on the brightness, and scrolled. And don't worry, I'm not an a-hole. Like, I turn it down and no one can see me. But I don't think my attention was ever kept during this film.
I'll also say at the Regal we go to in the recliner seats, you really can't see the person's cell phone like
Correct.
behind you or next to you if you turn down the brightness. And I also put it on like the night mode, where it changes everything black.
I just keep mine on night mode. I know that's kind of psychotic of me.
All the time?
I have mine on dark mode. You know that.
I haven't noticed. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you do.
I do?
Yeah, like my notes background is black, my
Oh.
texts.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I like it better. Doesn't hurt my eyes as much.
I'll do it in the movie because I'll occasionally make a note on.
Occasionally. You're making notes during every film we see.
I make a lot of notes because I want to remember it. I'm
At
over here-
19 minutes and 32 seconds, this happened.
I do. I time every single movie.
I know.
Right when we start, I hit the stop.
I know.
Because the time online is never right. It includes the credits, and sometimes even that's off. I have to know for sure.
Sorry, were you talking? I got bored.
Was it the singing for you, or was it the story, or was it everything?
Listen,
Or is it Lady Gaga?
big fan of Lady Gaga. We have to stop making every movie she's in a musical. Listen, I love her. Love her music. Love her makeup line. She does great things. We gotta stop. Just period. Wasn't even original songs. Because I don't mind a musical. I love Broadway.
It was a jukebox musical.
I just am kind of also over Joaquin Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of Napoleon?
No. I just feel like he's kind of a douche, maybe.
Interesting. I mean, for a while, he was one of my favorite actors. I just feel like he hasn't done a movie recently that I've really enjoyed him in.
I also hated the first Joker because I was so physically stressed.
And you thought this one was going to be as stressful as
I think
Dark.
I actually would have rather been that stressed again.
And I wish it would have been that. And I told you, like, hey, good thing is it's not going to be that dark. But then we got this.
I think I would have preferred darkness
Yeah.
over singing.
Yeah. I didn't mind so much the music. It just felt like the Joker character was a complete departure from what he was in part one. And I think the director, Todd Phillips, almost hated what he created with the first one. That people were... I think he didn't expect people to react to the Joker the way they did and kind of idolize him in a way. And I think that kind of made him upset that he wanted to tell people like, oh, this character I've created that's been like this beacon now for this type of person, I want to completely destroy that and derail this character and make him completely unrecognizable. So what we got was not the Joker that we were expecting from the first one. And I think that's what I hated most because it didn't feel like that. It felt like a slap in the face to me. And then you throw in the music and singing, and it commits to that so much that I still think that he made the movie he intended to make, but it was like not what anybody wanted.
It was not.
And I feel like if there was a movie we were going to walk out of this year, that probably would have been close to one.
I would have loved to have walked out of that.
Especially because it was pretty long, too. The only thing it had going for it was that it looked good. I thought the cinematography was still
and I
great.
don't know if that's enough to redeem a 2-hour
It's
film.
really not, but that was the only thing I was like, well, at least that shot looked cool. Aside from that, there was very few things to be excited about.
I honestly should have just gone to see whatever else they were screening and then been like, text me when you're done.
You should have just, yeah, gone.
Yeah, just gone into another movie.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
For my worst of October, I'm going with a streaming movie. It is Wolves with George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
I forgot we watched that.
It was bad. It was so bad and so
bad it
slow
slipped my mind.
because the entire, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes of this movie of how it starts was all covered in the 2.5-minute trailer. Like the whole like intro. It took 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get there, and you already
he's getting
all
riled
that
up.
because it was in that 2.5-minute trailer. So what they are people who are called in after either somebody commits a murder, they're there to clean up the scene. So they both arrive to the scene. They're like, hey, how did you get here? How did you get here? And then they have to like work together, and it's the whole like two type A dudes, macho dudes who have to work together type scenario. Then there's another guy involved. It was just so lackluster. And I feel like both of them at the level that they are were just like, hey, let's screw around and make millions by putting out this crappy movie. And crazy that this movie's getting a sequel on Apple.
What?
Yeah, like before it even came out,
More wolves?
they announced that it's like wolfers, wolfies,
Wolves.
But
We went wolves. Now we're going wolves.
And it's weird because they even pulled it from theaters. It was supposed to come out in theaters.
Yeah, because we saw the trailer like multiple times, and we were like, "Oh, that doesn't look bad."
Coming to the theaters in October, and then they were like testing it out and realized, yeah, people aren't really liking this. Let's put it straight to streaming.
They were like, "JK."
And I feel like Apple just isn't quite there when it comes to their original movies, and this was not a step in the good direction.
They've done a few good ones.
I would say a handful. Cherry was good.
What was the one with Justin Timberlake and Juno Temple? Palmer was good. If it's one, no, wolves is one word. That doesn't hold.
Cha-Cha Real Smooth was good.
Oh, that was so good.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, yeah, that's Apple, but at theaters.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
like straight Apple? I mean, that's pretty much it. Then you have all those Tom Hanks movies that we were talking about earlier that weren't very good. You have a lot of like random action comedies, like the Mark Wahlberg family movie, the one with Chris Evans and Ana de Armas. It's just like, what even is that? They have no identity whatsoever. They're just like, hey, let's hire A-list actors, give them a lot of money, have a really crappy script and a random director and throw it on the service.
Yeah.
I'd rather probably watch a TV show they have.
Okay, we really need to get into Slow Horses. I've been seeing it everywhere.
I've seen so much about that show.
I saw it's a book. I saw it at the airport.
Ah.
So we really got to get into that one.
I mean, Gary Oldman is a great actor. Like, character actor, one of the best.
Agreed.
So I'm down to check that out eventually. While we're on that, though, well, but I guess before we get to our TV picks, the other movies we saw this month, mentioned Joker 2. I gave that one a 2 out of 5. Wolves, I gave a 1.5 out of 5. It's What's Inside was surprisingly a good Netflix original horror movie, which is why you didn't watch it with me.
Okay, I was like, don't remember that one.
It's where they play this game and they all switch bodies. Would you play that game?
No.
Somebody bought a contraption and was like, all right, you put these things on and you're going to change bodies with somebody in the room, and then you have to figure out who got your body. Like, wouldn't it be weird to see you outside of you? Like, you see yourself walk by and you're like, that's me.
That would be weird.
That'd be really weird.
I feel like people with a twin see that, though.
Ah, good point. Twins. It's witchcraft. Smile 2, 4 out of 5. We Live in Time. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I also watched Brothers on Amazon, which was, okay, I forgot his name. Brothers on Amazon was not good. Game of Thrones guy, I can never remember. Peter Dinklage and Josh Brolin is who I was trying to remember. But they play brothers who...
Oh, they play brothers in a movie aptly titled Brothers.
Brothers. And they're like criminals. And it's one of them...
Sounds terrible already.
One of them goes to prison. Yeah. Oh, my bad. We're a little too close to each other. One of them goes to prison for committing a crime. One of them stays out, cleans his life up. Other one gets out. And they go back to a life of crime. It kind of felt like a 2000s bad comedy. Did you ever watch...
Was it funny?
No, not really. Did you ever watch My Name is Earl?
You rewatched that last year. No, I hate that show. I would rather you watch The Simpsons, I think, than My Name is Earl.
I love My Name is Earl, and it felt like it was doing a My Name is Earl impression the entire time. And I was like, man, I'm just going to go watch My Name is Earl.
Terrible.
Randy! Oh. Also watched Woman of the Hour on Netflix. I was close to getting my best of the month.
So good. That's my runner-up.
And that was one you had more knowledge about it going into it than I did. I just knew it was Anna Kendrick's debut as a director, and I was like, I'm in. And then
it's a freaky story.
Started immediately, and I was like, this is great. So Netflix rarely has great movies these days.
That's not true. Hitman?
I said rarely.
It also wasn't a Netflix original.
That's true.
They acquired it.
That is a good point, and I think most people can't make that
distinction.
Is there are Netflix originals that they fund, and it's like their studio Netflix banner.
Hitman was one of those.
And then there are some that they acquire the rights where somebody else has made it, and they're like, we want to buy the rights to this and put it on Netflix. That is also what happened with It's What's Inside that I mentioned earlier. And then there are other movies that they just put on their service that they buy like the rights to, but either they came out initially in theaters and another studio owns them, and they're just like, okay, we want to have this on our service for like 4 months, and it'd be on Netflix. Then later it goes to Hulu. And I think some people can't even distinguish that of, say, like, whenever Joker goes on, it usually goes on to Max, but say it eventually makes its way to Netflix, people just be like, oh, Joker 2 was a Netflix movie. So I think it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But when it comes to like original Netflix
The
movies,
Netflix originals, the Christmas ones are coming out with, which we will be watching. You will be watching and reviewing.
yeah,
There's one with Chad Michael-Murray that looks so bad.
yeah, I can't believe it's still working.
So bad. But the one with Lindsay Lohan actually looks pretty good. Lindsay Lohan's back.
Yeah, she has a resurgence.
It looks cute. But also I will say Anna Kendrick donated all the money she made from Netflix acquiring that movie to several like domestic violence shelters, to RAIN, which I thought was really cool. And I saw a clip of her and she was like, I just felt really gross like profiting off this movie, because she was like, you don't make any money making the movie, and she's like, we made money when it was acquired. And she was like, I was like, oh, I'm making a profit and I feel gross making a profit from this, which I thought was really cool that she donated it.
Which is the point I made when reviewing that movie last week, that I always have this weird thing about true crime stuff because it feels like icky to get into and like to take it in as entertainment when it's like real people involved, especially when like the families of the people were still alive.
But it was interesting when it's a story that you like didn't know.
Yeah, like you learn stuff and you're like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
The other one that almost made my worst of the month was Venom 3.
Oh my God, I forgot.
I
forgot we saw that.
I thought you were going to put that one as your worst over Joker. I feel like you had a worse time in that one because it just felt more like a mockery of everything.
I actually think I enjoyed that more than Joker because it was shorter.
And it's a little bit more turn your brain off. We didn't expect anything from it.
I expected nothing. I was trying to stay up till midnight to pick a friend up from the airport. So I was like, honestly, I'm here somewhere outside of the house. I can't fall asleep. That was really, but I did enjoy Venom 2, so I kind of expected to like it a little bit more.
Yeah, I liked 1 and 2 and 3 was just like, they gave up.
I also forgot the only movies I remember we saw this month were Joker, We Live in Time, and Woman of the Hour.
Your TV show.
I just realized I don't have one.
I don't think we've really been finishing shows right now.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is great this season.
Like I'm loving Penguin, but we're not done with it yet.
Correct.
There's one episode that just came out that we haven't seen. That's the finale. And then aside from that, we're kind of watching Only Murders. We haven't quite finished that yet.
We only have 2 episodes left.
And the show I'm kind of giving up on is Agatha All Along. Like, I even watched an episode without you after you dipped out. And there's just nothing.
And you were like, I'm dipping out.
There's just nothing that's making me gravitate towards that story, even though some people are loving it, saying it's one of the best Marvel original shows. I just can't get into it. There's just nothing there.
I've also been ditching you to watch The Housewives lately. There's 3 franchises.
That's a lot.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's more. There's one on Sunday, but Tuesday night is New York. Wednesday night is Salt Lake. Thursday is Orange County. Orange County did just wrap up. But then Beverly Hills starts next month, I think. Yeah, I love The Housewives. I've just kind of been ditching you, and I get in bed and I light a candle and watch Housewives.
That's a lot of franchise. I couldn't keep up with that.
But yeah, Salt Lake is my best one.
What about your book?
The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop.
Oh, I thought you were hopping back into TV, Gilmore Girl.
No, so she played Emily Gilmore, the grandma, and she wrote a memoir, and it was my book club book of the month. And I'm not normally an audiobook person, simply because I already have too many podcasts to listen to. And when I read, I like silence. It's kind of how I turn my brain off. But she narrates it and reads it. And I love Kelly Bishop. She has a super interesting life story, like her whole career before Gilmore Girls. It's really good. I really enjoyed that. And side note, sorry to interrupt you.
You good?
It is free if you have Spotify Premium. You get like 15 hours of audiobook a month. And so if there's ever an audiobook on Spotify and you have a premium account, you can listen to it for free. So I listen to it there.
I've always been meaning to listen to an audiobook because I am notorious for not finishing books.
That you are.
But I feel like I'm good at listening to podcasts all the way through. I feel like if I had an audiobook, I could probably at least get through something or maybe start reading it. And if I'm going to give up on it, hop to the audiobook.
Yeah.
I'm not really reading anything right now. I've been trying to find, here's my nerd out moment of the week. That is this entire podcast anyway. I've been trying to find an issue of Absolute Batman, and it's been sold out for months, like a month.
It can't be nerdier than what you bought at Costco this weekend.
Oh, I got an adult, well, not even adult Snuggie. I got a Spider-Man Snuggie that's meant for kids, but since it's oversized, it fits me.
I showed it to people this weekend that I was with, and someone said, were Halloween costumes on sale? And I was like, no, that's just what he likes. And then you found a Dragon Ball shirt on sale.
I did. Old Navy.
I leave for a weekend.
I also got this at Old Navy.
I left for a weekend and you nerded out hard.
I went to Costco and I had just seen on TikTok that they were selling Spider-Man Snuggies. And I was like, that looks amazing. And it's only $20. So I went to Costco. First thing I went to grab was the Spider-Man Snuggie. And then I got home. I put it on. The arms are a little tight because it is meant for a child.
I actually didn't know that. Could have left that part.
But other than that, fits good. It's warm. It's going to be my hanging out on the couch, like
your comfort blanket.
Yeah, my comfort blanket while watching the Cowboys suck.
You were like, it was only $20. I'm like, I don't care. Mainly because I had just placed a Sephora sale order.
I mean, $20 ain't bad to keep me warm.
That's not what I spent at Sephora. So you can go get quite a few Snuggies.
The adult ones, I think, were $20 as well, but they were so boring. Why do you have to get so boring when you become an adult?
It's true.
It was like a standard gray one and a blue one. Like, I want the Spider-Man one. I want the logo on my back. I want the...
Honestly, adults need more fun.
Yeah. Like,
because it's like you grow up and it's just like a harsh reality. You got bills to pay. You got to work at least 40 hours a week.
Like, this whole room is me regressing to dealing with, like, adult life. Like, I just want to go in here and enjoy things and see things that remind me of, like, just comforting times. And it doesn't hurt anybody.
Exactly.
And it's bright and colorful. And I'll just tell myself that.
I love that you found nerdy things that you enjoy. I think it's great. Whatever brings you joy and makes you happy, besides me.
as long as they're plastic and are hanging on the wall, we're all good here. All right. Anything else you want to say before we go?
I think I thought of something, but I forgot. Okay, to be fair, I was in the office today, so I am tired.
I am also tired. I just had a coffee at about 5 p.m.
I had a lot of caffeine today. There's a Starbucks in the lobby. I hit that up every Tuesday morning before I even go to my office. It's like park, mobile order, and they had Christmas cups for the tall and the grandes, and I was like, you know what? Like, Christmas cups really going to cheer me up. They handed me my venti, plain-ass white cup. You can cut that out if you need to. I did just curse.
It's
whatever.
It's like the adult situation. Like, everything has to be boring.
Exactly. I really just wanted some joy. Should we go put the Christmas tree up?
I think it's too early. I feel like it's too early.
We put it up on November 1st last year.
Yeah, and it was too early. I'm in that weird mode of like, I'm not ready for it yet. Because
okay, what about next week?
Next week is good. This week still feels a little bit too early.
It's also hot this week.
I think that's it. It's still warm here. I need a little bit of cold. Like, the leaves have fallen.
It was like 40 in Denver this weekend. It was freezing.
But I need some cooler weather, and I think next week feels a little bit closer to Thanksgiving, and I'm good with it.
Okay. Or I'll just do it one day while you're at work.
There you go. All right, we'll come back and give my spoiler-free review of Here.